Hunter Biden, your son's...
there is no controversy about my son. It's all a lie. It's a flat lie.
I don't know what he was doing. I know he was on the board. I found out he was on the board after he was on the board, and that was it. There's not one single bit of evidence, not one little tiny bit, to suggest anything done was wrong. There's not been one scintilla of evidence that my son ever interfered, that I ever asked me anything, that I ever got involved in anything.
Well, there is now. President Biden for years said that there was no evidence against his son Hunter. He didn't know anything. I find that to be probably unlikely. But the FBI now says that there is enough evidence to charge Hunter Biden with tax crimes and lying on a gun purchase form. And that's all. Nothing from his bags of cash from China or Ukraine or any of the weird board seats he got that he never actually had any qualifications for. But for more on this, we're joined by former acting U.S. Attorney General Matthew Whitaker. Sir, I see you smirking on this one. You giving us the I told you so speech, right?
Well, it's good to be with you, Carl. And I would say there are laptops full of evidence and always have been in this case. I worry long term if this case is ultimately either not brought or these lighter charges of, tax or other crimes that don't capture the corruption piece of this case.
Right.
I worry about it, Carl. I worry about our republic.
Well, that's the bigger problem here is, nothing in there about him arguing with a hooker about how much crack he had, or nothing in there right now about the fact that he collected $1.5 billion from China when he went over there on Air Force Two. That his father his father definitely told the Ukrainian government to fire a prosecutor investigating a company that Hunter Biden sat on the board of. Nothing for that. Do you think this is one of those things where, we're going to charge him with something in hopes that the new Republican Congress that's likely to be won't dig too much deeper because they know it goes to President Biden?
Well, Carl, the mainstream media has told us that there is nothing to see as it relates to the firing of that prosecutor. So I don't know why that would still be part of the narrative. There's so many other things here, to your point. And if you think about what this U.S. attorney in Delaware has to consider, a lot of what he has to consider is the overwhelming evidence of multiple crimes, multiple statutes, and just obviously they may try to make this go away. And to your point, try to again continue the narrative. Nothing to see here. That case was resolved. He was charged with some tax crimes. He was charged with the obvious crime that we've all seen, which is a drug user in possession of a firearm or lying on a federal form to purchase a firearm as a drug user. Cases that when I was a U.S. attorney we did all day, every day. And so this is this is the challenge for this U.S. attorney up in Delaware, who's a Trump holdover. We'll see if he has the courage to take this case. But everyone should be treated the same, whether you're the president's son or whether you're just some random person in Des Moines, Iowa. And so that's the law has to be blind, and justice has to be done without fear or favor, as Merrick Garland always reminds us.
Well, yeah, look, if this was Don Jr. or Eric, they would have been all over this day one. They hid this, they sat on it, and eventually it just had to happen. But Hunter's lawyer, this was the richest part of this whole thing. Hunter's lawyer, he's complaining about the leak, saying there should be a rigorous investigation. It's illegal to leak stuff. It's like, oh, really? Get in line, dude.
Yeah, and this is, it's really become a problem of the Department of Justice, and it's an ongoing problem that we've seen is these cases being prosecuted through media leaks by agents and prosecutors. And you're not seeing Merrick Garland speak out against this at all. You're not seeing Chris Wray telling his folks to stop it. And they're not investigating these leaks. And it's really eroding our Department of Justice standards, which, for a lot of us, we fought very hard to maintain those standards.
Yeah. Real quick before I let you go, Joe Biden is going to pardon all these people for smoking weed and having possession of it. But his vice president made a career of locking people up for smoking weed. What do you think?
Well, I think this is a kind of a fake headline. We didn't prosecute people for possession of marijuana. That's number one. The federal prosecutors don't do those cases. There are very few people that have, had that happen. We do drug dealers and kingpin. And so that's not affected by these pardons and commutations. So I actually think this is just another, political giveaway that actually means nothing just to try to win votes, unfortunately.
A lot of things coming out of that administration mean nothing.
Yep.
Acting Attorney General Matt Whitaker, appreciate you being here, sir.
All right, Carl, good to see you, my friend.
All right.
No crooked establishment.
None of that
Twisting the truth.
No talking down to me.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think.
I trust Newsmax.
Newsmax.
They don't tell me how to think.
They let
me decide.
Newsmax.
real news
For real people.